Welcome back, my viewer. And if you're with me up to now, that means you'll be following up my content. Thank you so much for following up with my content as we do more content. If you've not subscribed and you're new here, please kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that every time we pull something up, you're among the people who will see it and comment on it. And they're not good news. They're not good news, literally not good news. To anyone with sane mind, they're not good news. I know that people will come up with their own philosophies and stories about the same. I don't really give it a damn to those stories. Literally, I don't really give a damn to those stories. And what am I talking about? Which bad news am I trying to explain? Let me ask you a question. If you're a parent over here, and you have a daughter who is 9 years old, then a man with 60 years or 40 years or 50 years comes to you and tells you that he has seen your daughter and will want to have your 9 years daughter for marriage. As a father, as a mother, how will you take that? Will you just appreciate and say, wow, hey, bring the dowry, bring the dowry. She's ready, eh? She's ready to bring the dowry. Will you really do that? Okay, that's question number one. Question number two. Or if you pass in a location and hear that men who are learned, are discussing to pass a law that will enable the men of their age to marry a girl of 9 years. Will you play part in that? Will you be there to clap for them and say, yeah, this rule is better, this law is better, we need to hasten it, we need to fasten it so that this thing can happen? It's just out of this world, and I don't know why. It's just out of this world, but I don't know why some other people agree on that. In Iraq, in 2017 in Iraq, there were discussions within the Iraq parliament about amending the personal status law. That is law number 188 of 1959. The proposed changes aim to allow religious courts to apply their interpretations of Sharia law to personal status, including marriage. Of course, we critics will always come into that because we are trying to look into things in a more mature way. Yeah, in a more mature way. Whether you think I'm not mature or not, that is none. That is your business, not my business. That is how you interpret your stuff. But I believe I'm so much mature. Yeah, and wise. So much mature and wise. So mature people and wise people like us look into that. We must come into contempt some of these things. So critics expressed, we expressed our concerns. To lead to a significant decrease, when it comes to the legal laws that permits marriage, not to be 9 years, but to allow these little daughters of ours or little sisters of ours to grow up to maybe 15 or 16 years. That can be okay. But again, these guys don't really understand and don't really give a damn to that, So they went ahead to do that stuff, They went ahead to go to the parliament and discuss all these other things. And in 2025, as for January 2025, there have been no official reports confirming that Iraq has enacted legislation lowering the legal age of consent to 9 years. But we've seen most of this. It on social media. I will post some of the X tweets talking about the same, that Iraq has officially allowed and made it legal for legal age of consent for girls to 9 years. So that means at 9 years, someone can come in and take them as their wives, and they're still okay with that. I don't know how that gets better to them. I know it's more of their laws and not the laws that govern my country, but as a father, I wouldn't like it to see someone come for my daughter at 9 years, and I wouldn't go take someone's daughter at 9 years. That is defilement of the highest order, and I don't know how to put that one across. It's just really not adding up to me, and I'll believe, let the human rights guys who have been on the streets all along protesting against free Palestine also go to the street and talk about this, so that these young girls can be given an opportunity to go to school. They can be given an opportunity to grow up and be given an opportunity to also choose for themselves who they would like to spend the rest of their lives with. They can also be given an opportunity to realize what they really want to be, to also play a role in, the economic growth of that country. And that is that they have equal rights with men. That means they can get jobs, like equity. They can get jobs. They can go to school. They can decide for themselves which man they would like to spend their lives with. Like they can be themselves in doing whatever they're supposed to do. Because at that age, that person is very young, not able to make decisions of her own on her own. And of course, she'll be afraid of the person who will marry her. She won't really challenge that person in any way. And challenging that person doesn't mean that you are not submitting under them, but you're just trying to tell them we can do things in a different way. So if that's true, then I believe, yes, the human rights guys should get deeper into that and try to solve that story as soon as possible. Because if we continue doing that, then we won't have a next generation. And I believe even medically, a child of that age, they're not well developed to do some stuff, maybe carrying pregnancy. There'll be a lot of complications when it comes to that. And we need to look into that. I believe there are doctors in that area who understands how those things happen. And they should be outside there creating awareness to just allow, these people to grow and get to a level or an age where they can do their stuff on their own, make decisions on their own. I think that will be much better for them, because it's personally, if that is very true, it's really disgusting, and I can't just understand. And I believe the very thing that Trump has been so hard on to the guys, to the flag movement, who are, trying to make change the genders of young children who have not got to a level to consent to understand what they are really trying to do to them. And that could have caused, or might have caused, or will cause a lot of mental issues when these people grow up, because they'll be like, Mom, Dad, why did you allow this one to happen to me? Like, why did you allow it to happen? I was not aware of what was happening to me. And some of those cases might lead to suicides, because if your father and your mother gave you out to such a things, and they had the power to protect you, but they chose not to protect you, but to please someone and gave you out of this, that means like they will feel like no one cares about them. So we might be experiencing high levels of, suicide cases that people are not really seeing now. Like you cannot see them now, but we're talking about the future. Because if these little boys and girls are disturbed mentally, will they create a proper country where people will do things in the right way? They might not do that. They'll find it so hard for them to build a country that is good, a country that is, even the economy of the country. So thank you so much, Trump, for standing strong over that. And that's very beautiful of you. We're praying that there's nothing that will deter you from enacting that policy, and you're not going to change on that policy. And we believe that America will remain to be stronger on that policy, not just to allow some other things to happen just because some people feel that is the way. And for Iraq, if that is very true, we also pray that the learned guys within that parliament will also work it out and give these young girls an opportunity and that chance for them to grow and make decisions for themselves. So, yes, I got those news on X, and I was like, oh, this one, tell me it's not happening. But of course, it was happening. And some people think it's true that it's happening. Unless we get people who are in those areas to comment, leave their comments in the comment section and tell us, is it really happening, or just something that we people are thinking that is happening, that is not happening. But they usually say this: if you see the smoke, then there was fire somewhere, or there is fire somewhere. Yeah. And if you see the clouds, be sure it might rain. Yeah. So if the people are talking about it, there's some truth in it that it might be happening. So kindly subscribe again. If you're with us up to now, subscribe. And hit the notification bell so that every time we pull up such information, you'll be the first person to comment and tell us what you think about that. So, what do you think about that?